Hello everybody. Hello Manifestation Hub. How are we all? Okay, so thank you Tanya for letting me do this. I am so honoured. I am so happy and I'm so pleased that I get to talk about something that I'm very passionate about. So yeah, it's just nice to come live on someone else's page, on someone else's group, and deliver something that, you know, I know bits about and that I'm actually on a journey doing that right now. So I don't know who's going to be on with me today, but whoever's watching me live, please say hello. Anyone who's watching me on the replay, please comment, and if you've any questions after the live on the replay, please let me know and I can just reply and help you with any questions that you've got. So I want to make sure that everyone's jumping on, or if Tanya's going to be on, I'm not sure if she's watching, but I will head into it anyway. Oh, here she is. Hey Tanya. I was just saying how thankful I am for letting me come on today to talk about quantum healing. It's such an honour to come on. It's just great to do lives in someone else's group and just, yeah, it's just great to connect with other people, and what you're doing is fantastic. You know, again, you know, having platforms for other people to come on and to talk about their passions and talk about what they love to teach. So I was just saying, anyone who's watching live, please say hello. Anyone who's watching the replay, you can just say hello, and any questions after the live, I'll always reply if I can, and if I don't know the answer, I will always find out the answer. So before I go into quantum healing, I just wanted to give you a little bit about me and what I do and my purpose in this lifetime. So I'm Pippa and I'm a Mother Earth healer. Now what that entails is helping Mother Earth heal, of course, but actually the process of that is by helping others heal. So I truly believe in my deepest part of my soul that if we can heal ourselves, we can heal the planet. And we will go into detail about that in a little bit, but basically it's because we're from the same place. So where we came from and where we end up is Mother Earth. So I'm going to be talking a bit about this. I've got my notes. If I keep looking to the left, it's just because my notes are here. So basically, for me, what I found extraordinary was the fact that we're all made up of energy, and Mother Earth is all made up of energy. We're all energy. So, you know, if we come from Mother Earth and we return to Mother Earth, so it's like, I always feel if we're healing ourselves, we're healing a piece of Mother Earth. And imagine if all of us could do that, it would just be wild. So I can't see any comments coming in, but I will just keep talking. If any come in after, I will obviously reply to them. And yeah, because I'm not sure, sometimes the comments don't come on the lives, which is completely fine, but hi to anyone who's watching. So quantum healing. Now, if someone had said to me 4 years ago, Pippa, let's do some quantum physics, I'd be like, what the hell is she talking about? Now, to this day, I still don't get the whole depths of quantum physics because I am not a scientist. My partner is a scientist, but I am not a scientist. But as I've grown over the last few years, I've really found that everything that I thought was kind of not for me and I didn't understand it, kind of just came into my life anyway. It was just the flow of life. Like when I first watched The Secret a few years ago, they spoke about quantum moments and quantum shifts in there, and I was like, what is a quantum shift? And actually, for 4 years, I didn't really know what it was. And I heard all my manifestation people who I used to follow talked about quantum physics, and I'd be like, oh, I don't know what it means. So until I had my quantum shift back in April, which was the most profound, serene, phenomenal experience of my life. And if you actually read the book Quantum Change, it will actually say it's indescribable. It's vivid, you don't forget it, but it's, if any of you watching have had a quantum shift and you know what I'm talking about, then you will know what I mean, because it is everyone says how does it feel to have a quantum change, and it's so hard to explain. It really is. So quantum healing, you're asking, quantum healing. So for me, quantum itself, in my own understanding, because I've obviously done a bit of research around it and with my own journey and my own experience, For me, quantum change, the word quantum itself means an energetic change. And that could be in your cells, in your genes, in your aura, in your frequency. Now, we all have a different frequency. Now, Tanya talks about this because she's a manifestation goddess. So you think about when you're at an event, say, which has been a while because of COVID, but cast your mind back to when you were last at an event. And it could have been any event. It could have been a mother's event, could have been your kid's event, whatever it was. And someone walks into the room who are really in a bad mood. You can tell that without even speaking to them. That is basically the simplest way we can actually see energy. And the reason is we don't see it is because we actually aren't present to actually see it. So for example, if you're not in a present state daily, you won't pick up on things like that because you're constantly looking for the next thing to do. Your mind's like everywhere. So when I said about quantum itself meaning energetic change, because your frequency is emitting out always to the universe. It's like a constant frequency going out, going in, going out. So basically, when you're streaming out your frequency is coming back. And that is what Tanya teaches, and that's what I teach, because it's all about manifestation. So again, you want to manifest a soulmate, you have to match that frequency of your soulmate. And that comes with, you know, which I'm going to talk about in the alignment process, that comes with the inner work, because our inner work is a reflection on the outer world. So we have to remember that we have to be in alignment with our mind, body and soul. So as I've just mentioned, if you didn't know yet, your body is like in a constant state of frequency, and your frequency can change. My frequency sometimes goes whoa straight up in the sky, and then sometimes it's like whoa straight down. So it depends on what your mood is. For women, it depends on your cycle, your period cycle. It depends on what's going on in your life. By the way, if you can see smoke, it's my incense candle. It's like blowing all in my face. So your frequencies will change. And I know people are going to be commenting here, and I can't see the comments. Let me try and get Facebook up because I don't want to miss anyone's comments. It did this last time for me in another group. I couldn't see the comments. And I don't want to miss anyone out. I don't like doing that. So just bear with me 1 second. I'll just get my laptop on and I'll sign in and see if there's any comments. It just says Tanya Taylor is watching. That's all I can see on my screen. Let's see. Oh yes, we have 8 comments. Yes. Right, let's see. Brighter and so much more beautiful. I've just had my own quantum shift. The world literally looks different. Hey Pippa. Hey Zoe. I can't see the other ones. Let's have a look. I'll just keep checking them on here. Yeah, so get my notes. Again, I mentioned about someone walking into a room. That is simply energy. Another movie you can watch, because I'm going to be giving lots of little tips and tricks here, is The Celestine Prophecy. If you haven't read the book, I definitely recommend watching the movie. It shows you how you can pick up energy. Now, Chris and I have had a huge story around energy. We can pick up on our energies from different parts of the world. So I'm here in the UK, and he was in California, and he's been living here with me for a few months. So when we were kind of separated at the time, at the beginning of the year, from when COVID hit, it was, you know, he would connect to me when I was asleep because of the 8 hours difference, and he would literally wake me up. He would think about me, and he wouldn't do it purposely, but something, that's another live for another day. But I manifested my twin flame to a T. I wrote down a list of what I wanted to manifest in a man, and he's downstairs. So he is the most amazing man in my life, and I just pinch myself every day I look at him to say, you know, I literally to the T, he is literally what I wrote down on my list. And that isn't even like a list of just looks, height. You're gonna laugh at this because people laugh at this, but literally I put penis size, so that was how specific I got. So I wrote height, that size. I wrote like just things that he does, like, you know, he touches my shoulder and he touches my bum, and like every time he walks past me he has to touch me, and just you know, just things that make you feel good, that are just so little, but they just, everyone's different, you know. Tanya and Zoe, if you're still watching, you'll have your own little things, you know. For me, I wanted, like, when I'm cooking dinner, I want him to put his arms around me when I'm cooking dinner, and he does that. And that was on my list, and it sounds so silly, but it's just, manifestation's fun. And when you put things down like that, it just makes it all better and it makes it fun. So that is a top tip for when you want to manifest your partner. If you haven't got one, is to do a list and visualize them every single day. That's what I did. So let me check my notes. So when I mentioned about someone coming into a room, that is the energy that I'm talking about. That is the frequency that I'm talking about. You know, with the energy and the aura, your energy will change. You know, my energy is changing every single day. You know, again, with women, it is your cycle. With men, it could be because your woman's on your period. So it just depends on everyone's kind of energy frequencies. So I'm going to ask you, have you ever attracted the same kind of friend or partner over the years? Because you'll be sending out that energy. So a lot of the time as well, you will manifest friends into your life who reflect something back to you that you need to work on. So with quantum healing, when I work with my clients, is I work on their triggers. I'm not going to go too much into triggers, but basically triggers is something that we cover in our online course because it is a big part of our growth. So for example, if you're out on a daily basis and someone says something and it really triggers you, or like, you know, a friend says something a bit mean, and you know, you get really annoyed and you get really triggered. You know, Chris and I now are at a level where we don't really get triggered, and if we do, we know it's the next step for our growth. So imagine being at a place where you're in a constant state of just your behavior and your energy doesn't change from whatever anyone says. You think of the news right now, you're watching the news and you're getting triggered and you're getting annoyed and you're getting, you know, really upset about what's going on. That's a trigger. That's why I don't watch the news. So again, it's putting yourself in that situation to trigger. And I know nothing is an accident. So if you do attract a certain friend into your life, there will be a reason for that. And I know in my heart, I'm actually writing a book at the moment, and I just wrote a huge amount of pages about this. I never regret any relationship, any friendship that I've ever had in my life. I've had some pretty bad relationships in the past. I never regret any of them because they taught me something, they helped me grow, they triggered me to grow, and they just were there at the right time for me. So again, if you're in that constant state of like, oh, why did I spend so much time with that ex-partner? You know, why did I let that friend treat me like crap? I want you to just let go of all the anger and do a forgiveness ritual. You know, if anyone's got any questions about that, you know, I do full moon rituals, so I do a lot of that. So forgiveness is a huge part of manifestation, because if you're not forgiving the past, and again the present, because everything is a present moment, if you're not forgiving the past, how are you going to expect to move forward? So I always say, you know, imagine those people who wronged you. Imagine those people who hurt you. Imagine being able to help them and love them and help them to grow and help them to just see the world how you see it. That is true humility. That is true growth. That is true quantum healing. You know, seeing everyone through the eyes of love. So that is something that I work with my clients with, to help you see that in the world, because the world needs more of that, especially now. So again, it's looking at the triggers and seeing, you know, what is triggering me on a daily basis. You could go into work on a daily basis and some certain person will trigger the life out of you. She could just open her mouth, or he could just say something, or whatever it is. That is reflecting what you need to work on. So it could just literally be about, it could just be something about, like, for example, I'm trying to think when I did that recently. So I will talk about my quantum shift, because that was from a trigger, and that was really interesting because it was probably the last trigger that upset me, if that makes sense. Because a lot of my triggers now, I'm just like, oh, that triggered me. Why? I wonder why. And I explore it, so it's quite fun. So there is ways you can work on your triggers, and that is all in the online course, which I'm going to mention at the end. You know, we wanted to put that in there because it is a big part of your ascension. So before I go into everything else, the online course that Chris and I designed, and it was all channeled from our guides and our higher self, is called The Answer. And the reason why we called it The Answer is because everyone has their own answer. There is no set answer. My shift, like Zoe said, she had a quantum shift recently. Her shift is completely different to my shift, but we technically all kind of see the same like world. It kind of just switches, but how we have our shift is completely different to each other. So again, the answer has been done, you know, the course has been designed by us, but it's got things in there to help you with your own journey. That is the key, because the thing is, a lot of spiritual people that I see, they try and push spirituality and beliefs onto other people. I'm not about that. I'm just, you know, showing you a path. And if you take that path, great. If you don't, you'll find another path. You will find a path that resonates with you, because everyone's journey is completely different, and we're at different levels, and our frequency is so different as well. So again, you could have your quantum shift at 60, you could have your quantum shift at 15, and technically when you're younger it doesn't really happen. It's more so as you get older, because you kind of go to that stage of motherhood or whatever it is. But most people that I've read about are normally like 30 plus, but mine was actually 29, so I was doing pretty good. So the next thing is about, Tanya will be telling you things like this about your frequency. If your frequency is off a little bit, again, just tune it a little bit. You know, like the radio station, if you've not tuned in fully, it will be crackly. So again, what is lighting you up on a daily basis? What makes you feel good? What is really something that makes your soul so happy? Go and do some of that, and I'm going to be talking about that in a little bit as well. Let me check the comments, guys, because I don't want to... There's so many I've missed out, and I need to click on the... Let me click on the live, and I'll turn the volume down. Let's have a look. Just bear with me, guys. I don't want to miss anybody out. Let's see. Right. Amazing, Tanya. Yes, 37, woohoo! Right, so, as I said before, I don't want to go into all the sciencey stuff because I'm not a scientist. But we all came from source. So you think about the Big Bang, you know, that all just went into particles. And something that I want you to watch on YouTube is the most important photo ever taken. It's literally called that, the most important photo ever taken. It's the Hubble field from the Hubble Center. And it blows your mind. If you're a bit of a science nerd, which I wasn't a science nerd, but I was really into space, I was really into planets and astrology and all that kind of thing, and my partner's really into all that as well, so he kind of showed me this image. And basically this image is the size of a postage stamp, so you can imagine a postage stamp. And this is why I love full moon rituals, because I know in a past life that I was in a tribal setting. I know I've been in tribes, I know I've been in Africa, like I've got a massive pull to Africa. That's why I love Tanya so much. I can't wait to go to Africa because I love the animals so much. But so you think of a postage stamp size. They focused this telescope on this postage stamp size. I think it was like 10 days, and they captured it. And within this Hubble telescope postage stamp size, there is billions of stars, and within those stars there's galaxies. So you think about, in those galaxies, how many planets there are and how much life is in there. And when you actually look at it and think of it, you're like, oh my god, and I'm this small little being on this little planet in the middle of like all this space. So you think about our unlimited potential. You come from an unlimited potential. So the only thing that is stopping us from having that unlimited potential is you. Because you have blocks, you have trauma, you have issues, you have triggers, and there's nothing wrong with that. We're here having this human experience, and that is the key. We talk about that in the course as well. You know, again, we are spiritual beings, but we're here to go, I'm going to go and be a human in this life. Let's go and see what that's like, and see how I got on in this life. That's maybe how we have the past lives as well. So the particles that make up your cells, your skin, your organs, and your DNA, we all have within us. Every one of us. Not one of us doesn't. So every person you meet is a part of you. How incredible is that? Even the animals, the trees, the plants, everything. And you have to respect that, because if you're not respecting animals and respecting the trees and the flowers and your, you know, people you don't even know, if you don't respect them, you're disrespecting yourself. Because we're all connected. Doesn't mean we're related. It's not weird. We're all connected by that energy. You know, we all came from that, and we all return to that. And one of my biggest lessons was when my biggest teacher in my life is Wayne Dyer. and we just love his work. We have done for a long time, and he's one of my teachers. You know, I channel him, I talk to him, he is like my teacher, and he will talk about this. You know, he had a man called Latsu. That was his teacher. He had many teachers in his life, and he would have a picture up near his computer or wherever he was, and he would channel them, and he would ask for information, and I do the same. And he read the Tao Te Ching, which is, you know, Taoism, and this was written before the Bible. And what was so lovely about this is like the values in there. And Chris was reading it, and, you know, when I was listening to the story about it, because actually Wayne took a year to read the Tao Te Ching, and then he rewrote his own book around the Tao Te Ching in his own words, and that was called Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. And Chris does that every single day. I'm coming on to that soon. You do a chapter a day, and it's 81 verses, and then you do a different thing each day. And Latsu's talked about the values, you know, the key values in life. And when he said them, I just was in awe of them because they resonated with my soul. And the first one was kindness. So that's, you know, kindness is something that I send out daily, if not hourly. So kindness was a big one for me. Gentleness as well, you know, having a gentle manner about yourself, and just, you know, what's the opposite of gentleness? It's like harsh, hard, like just getting rid of that like harsh kind of like energy. So gentleness, you know, being gentle with yourself and knowing that you're on this journey. So them two really resonated with me. The next one is service to others. So that one is like when you're in service to others from a true place, you don't expect anything in return, you're just in service to others. That is where you manifest huge things into your life, because you're not only, you know, serving others, but what you want to manifest in your life, you want it for someone else just as much. And that is key. If we all could have that compassion for each other, it just makes such a huge difference in the world. That's why I love what Tanya's doing, because people like us, we just want to do that, and all of you in this group are doing exactly the same. So I just applaud all of you in this group. And then the fourth one was reverence for all life, which manifests into respect for everything. So again, you know, Chris and I laugh because if we're walking my dog of a night time, there's lots of snails around and slugs, and we don't pick the slugs up because we just step over them, but some of the snails you can't see, so we just pick the snails up and put them into like the bushes because they get stepped on a lot, you know, just things like that. It's so silly, but things like that make such a difference. They do, because their life, you know, it doesn't matter that they're not cuddly and you can't pick them up, but they are a living thing. So again, just having that moment, having that like kind of, you know, reverence in your life just for other life. You know, you think about that's part of you. So when you're actually helping that snail or whatever animal you're helping, you are doing the universe a service, and that again is service to others. So recently, after my shift in April, which I wasn't going to talk about in this live because I wanted you to kind of listen to my podcast, you know, listen to it yourself and think how you feel and what kind of resonates with you. But basically, Mother Earth came to me in nature, and it was a surreal experience for me, and it was after a trigger. And again, it was kind of like, it's just, there's no words to describe it, but basically I was out in nature and it was all meant to be, and she came to me in form, and it was my miracle. It was my miracle moment, and since then I've embraced her fully, and I've just done a huge massive rebrand in my business, and I've based it all around Mother Earth, because again, it is, you know, it's my passion, and this is like the big picture behind here as well, you know, Mother Earth, and that is who I am. So I started to meditate more. I started to connect to my spirit guides. I started to do more journaling. I really stepped up my journey and what I was here to do, my purpose and my dharma. So I really started to do that. And a couple of months ago, I was just really channeling one day, and this whole idea of this hierarchy came into my mind. So a triangle has been a massive, a huge kind of symbol in my life. I've always been in the three, you know, with friends or in situations, you know, and a lot of my past trauma as a child, I was always in the middle of people. So I was always kind of like with three friends, and I was always in the middle. So triangles played a huge part in my life, good and bad. And all of it is good anyway. So when I was channeling, you know, when I did my business degree, because obviously my background is business, and obviously that's why I love being in business. one of the things we had to learn is about Abraham Maslow, and he designed the spiritual hierarchy of needs. Sorry, the hierarchy of needs. Now, Chris and I designed a course called The Answer, and that is a spiritual hierarchy of needs. And at each level, there is 5 A's, and each level there's an A. So you start with awareness, alignment, awakening, ascension, and abundance. So within each A, we talk you through the course, and we've got like a video from us both, because, you know, having both perspective from masculine and feminine, it's so important as well, because we both need that. We give a meditation, we do a self-reflection, there's a workbook, you know, to help you in that deepening your spiritual connection to Mother Earth and really starting to elevate your spirituality. So briefly into each one. Awareness. How aware are you currently about your surroundings? Do you wake up every single morning with a grateful heart? Do you know that you're a spiritual being having a human experience? So as I mentioned before about my quantum shift, I started to see the world completely differently. It was like I'd been given a new set of eyes. It's mad. It's just madness. And Zoe will probably agree with this. Something just switches and it can never be unswitched. Even my friends have seen it in me. I've just become calmer and everything makes sense. And now, like, I know that if anything does arise, I know I'm going to work through it and I don't have to worry about anything. Like, it's just until you're there, it's crazy. So again, we're all made up of this energy. And as we start to increase our own energy, we'll start to, differentiate the lower energies. So again, having that awareness of what's my energy, what lifts my energy up, what's a lower energy, who are the energy vampires, who's the ones who suck all the life out of me. You really start to see that and how it affects you. And a big part of awareness for me is acceptance of who you are. Because we chose this lifetime, we chose this body. We chose all of our friends, our parents, our siblings, our children. We chose it all, and our challenges to help us to grow. So who are you? And this is what we get you to explore in the course. We want you to meditate and just really explore that idea of who you really are. Who you are isn't your name. Who you are isn't your height. Who you are isn't you whatever you want to say. Like, there's literally, you go on for an endless list. Who you are is such a tough one because, again, it isn't about... You think about how many numbers are labelled on you. Your age, your date of birth, the height you are, the weight you are, the weight you were when you were born, your shoe size, your clothes size. It's all about numbers. And actually, that's an illusion. It really is an illusion. And that is what we explore as well within the course, is that, a level of oneness. Oneness is... what Wayne talks about, which I don't want to go into that one as well because I could talk for hours about that one. Let me just check your comments. Let's see. I love all the hearts. Thank you. Yes, everything's completely different after a shift. It really is. It's insane. It's the best feeling ever. So, alignment. So when we're feeling low, we tend to feel misaligned to our purpose and our goals. So it's important to be doing a self-love practice daily, a self-worth or whatever you want to call it. I have a spiritual practice daily to keep ourselves connected. Because when you're disconnected, your ego starts to creep in. Now, we all have an ego, but there's nothing wrong with having an ego. Healthy ego is good for us, but unhealthy ego is where we need to work on. That's what I really do with clients as well. So keeping ourselves connected and aligning, your soul, that is the main key. Raising your vibration by doing things we love, spending time in nature, spending time with people who light you up, going to the movies, going on date nights, eating your favourite food. They're all the things that, that will help you align. So do you spend time with Mother Earth? Do you go out into nature and are you really present? Do you take your shoes off? Do you walk on the grass? Do you hug the trees? Do you really just look up and just be in awe of that? That is the shift that's happened. Physically, this is what Chris talks about because he's the scientist. Are you eating well? Are you exercising? Are you keeping track of your calories? Because again, that you're here having this human experience. The internal work, great, because we're doing so much mindset work and we're doing our spiritual growth, but the external, we have to look after that as well. So remember, you're having a human experience and this vessel that you're living in, this body, needs to be taken care of. So make that commitment to yourself and know you are worth it. Awakening. This question I love asking because Wayne talks about this and we do truly believe that we're carrying on his work because his work is just insane. So do you see the world as a hostile place or a friendly place? Again, you know, how many of you are in that ego mindset? How many of you are thinking the world's against you? How many of you thinking like, why me, in the victim? You want to change being a victim into being a victor of your own life. So again, are you being a host to God or a hostage to your ego? That is a huge drop it, wow kind of question. So are you being a host to God or a hostage to your ego? The awakening stage is a constant flow of mini quantum leaps for me, because again, since the quantum shift in April, and Zoe, you'll find this, you'll have little quantum leaps. They're like your aha moments, like, oh God, and you get inspired and you want to write, you want to do a live, you want to inspire other people. They're your little quantum leaps that you may have. So the more you stay connected, as I mentioned, the more your ego is dismissed and it dampens your ego down. And next, exploring your values. So as I mentioned the 4 values earlier, what are your key values in this life? Because that again is about who you are in this lifetime. What can you live by daily? So they're the examples that I gave you. The own virtues are the teachings of Lao Tzu. You can look him up, you know, gentleness, kindness, reverence for life, and service to others. As humans, we rise by lifting others. We have to remember that. It's not about what I can get, because that's the ego. You'll find as well when you work on your ego, me and Krista will go, oh, that was ego, switch it. And you don't have to feel guilty about it. You literally just got to think, my ego is going to be creeping in, and how I stay connected and keep it at bay. So when we give, we receive. So when you're giving to others, we can't be in that mindset of, well, what am I going to get back for that? Because that's the ego. We want to give because we're not expecting that back. And that is how the universe receives back. Because when you're giving, you're in that state of gratitude and flow. And that's what you manifest back into your life. So again, giving not to expect anything in return. Your ego will expect things in return. Do and give because your soul yearns for it. A famous quote by Hafiz, and I always love saying this one because it just really hits home for me, especially being Mother Earth. So a famous quote by Hafiz, which is Hafiz, says, and he defines this so beautifully, the sun never says to the earth, you owe me. What a love like that can do. It can light up the whole world. Be open to everything and attached to nothing. These are just the teachings of people that me and Chris, I get goosebumps when I say things like that, like, oh, goosebumps. So the next one is ascension. So now you're fully aware, you're aligned, and you're awakened. Your ascension depends on the ability of letting go of outcome. This is the big one as well. You know, stopping, focusing on why isn't it happening now? When's it going to happen? Why is it not happening? How is it going to happen? It's having full trust in the universe. That is where you're going to ascend. So having full trust in the universe, knowing it has your back, and always remember that it's never a no from the universe. If you're manifesting something and you're like, why isn't it here? It's not because it's not a no. It's because maybe it's not ready yet. Maybe something better's coming, or it could just be a yes, but not yet. So this is where you can move from ambition to meaning, and that is living your Dharma, from despair to hope, connecting to spirit, channeling, getting closer to God, the universe, by meditating, doing spiritual practices daily, dampening the ego. You know, you start to see everyone through the eyes of love. And a huge part of the ascension stage is forgiveness. I mentioned earlier about forgiveness, forgiving those who hurt you, and mostly forgiving yourself. You know, we've all done things we regret, that we did regret. We've all done things that we didn't like, that we didn't think that was good. But again, forgiving yourself is so powerful. And this can be done on the full moon each month, or whenever you feel called to do it. So I have a free workbook on my website, which you can sign up to, and then you get your full moon ritual workbook. And lastly, seek out a mentor or a healer to explore your wounds. Doesn't have to be me. You know, go and find someone you really resonate with, who you just think, oh God, she's lovely and I really want to work with her. You know, get them to work on your trauma and your issues and your inner child, because everyone has that, and it's just a beautiful process to go through. And lastly, abundance. So the word that seems to only mean money in so many people's eyes, when actually it's not. You know, riches and abundance comes in so many forms: health, love, family, oxygen, nature. You have an abundance from the moment you were born. So your heart's beating every day, your lungs are breathing constantly without even thinking. Everything you needed in this lifetime for the first 9 months in your mum's tummy were taken care of. You don't have to think about anything. Your growth was taken care of, your food was taken care of, literally everything from the moment of conception of the 9 months was taken care of. The only thing that happens when we're born is that as we grow, we start to take on everyone else's opinions about us. And then because when we're born, everything else is taken care of. Our life is mapped out. Our life is planned. Fate has, our destiny is already written. The problem is we get in our own way and we have to keep letting go and keep letting go and keep letting go. So the same force that is growing your fingernails, spinning the earth, setting the sun, opening the flowers is within you. Remember that. So you think about like what is actually growing your fingernails, like all that, and like what's keeping the earth spinning, and then what opens all the flowers, and how does a tree know when to shed its leaves? Like the scientific side, yeah, it's like when the sun changes, but that's just amazing. It's just incredible how it knows how to do that. And that is what you were born to do. You were born to live out your dharma. Whether that is shedding leaves or whatever it is, think of yourself as a tree. A tree is grown to shed leaves, grow leaves, and just stand tall, have roots growing into the earth, and it sways in the wind. So you think about that. You are a divine creation of the universe. You really are a divine creation, and we are all one. This whole circle of life, we are one. So mentioning before about oneness, we live in a world of oneness. And when you find your purpose, never let anything sway you from being that divine being that you are. Because the problem is there's so much duality in the world, right, wrong, female, male, all these ups and downs, left and right, north and south. There's so much duality in the world when actually it's just all one. We all on this one big planet together. So your quantum healing journey will be challenging and rewarding. It'll be personal to you and you'll have your own set of beliefs and values. We can't compare our shifts to others. As I said before with Zoe's, like everyone is completely different. It happens differently. It could just be literally, when you read the Quantum Change book, some people's was just when they're in the shower, but literally a lot of them come from suffering as well, which mine wasn't really a suffering, it was more of a trigger. So everyone's is different. So in the grand scheme of things, life now is a tiny speck in the entire universe. So if you ever doubt yourself, I want you to step outside, take a look at the stars and that Hubble field, and know above you are billions and billions of other galaxies with life. It is infinite, and so are you. So seek out those who smile and who grow with you, those who are happy for your happiness and want to see you thrive in themselves. So again, who are you surrounding yourself with? That will have a huge impact in your journey as well. So let me check out the comments. Every day, I'm such a tree hugger. Me too. Divine timing, yes. Yes, so I could go on for hours and hours about this topic, but I'm going to keep it to this. I've gone over a little bit, but it's fine. Everything's divine timing. So how you work with me, guys, I've put some links above on the description. So anything that you can do to help would be amazing. Again, there is something at the bottom which I would love help with. Tanya has actually purchased this, which I'm so grateful for. I'll just go with this first. So I created a 7-day Mother Earth meditation. It's called 7 Worlds, 1 Planet. And within the 7 days, you get each continent. And I've done my own meditation. And it's $24.99 for those 7 meditations. And 10% of your purchase goes back to a non-profit organisation. Last month was the Save African Penguins. This month is Pacific Mammal Centre. And last month we had enough money to sponsor a nest for the African penguins, which made me feel so amazing. I was so emotional and happy. So each month, anyone who can purchase a meditation I was so grateful. We're sending that at the end of the month as well. So I've put my links to my Instagram, which is at Mother Earth Healer Pippa, which I just can't wait to connect with some of you as well. And I've also put I'm just checking I've put it on there. I think I did. Yes. So the course, which I've just kind of give you very brief, just brief information about. It's the spiritual hierarchy of needs. It's called The Answer. And at the moment, which is it's happened for a reason, our students are loving it that much. We want it to be out there with so many people. The normal price of our 5-week online course is $597, but we want to run a beta test. So basically that means you get it at a really low cost, because we want it out there for you to work on, and all we ask for is a testimonial and some feedback of what you thought was good, anything you want to change, anything you think we should add. And that is what we're here to do, to be in service to others. So the normal price of the course is $597, and we're actually offering it to 5 people in the next, I think, 48 hours for $197 to kind of just get it out there and for you to work on, which is a steal. I can put some of the feedback testimonials that we've had already in the comments after this. It's gold. You know, think about if you've enjoyed this video now, imagine this stretched into 5 A's and how much level of detail me and Chris have put into it. And Chris, my partner, he's amazing as well. So his energy is insane. It's just a beautiful energy we've got together. I've put the links in for that as well. And the other thing I wanted to mention was, let me see in the comments, was my shift membership. So the shift membership was around the quantum shift that I had. I've been running that since May. And basically it's just to help people with the quantum shift, even if it's just to help them transform. And in the shift membership, we have a different topic each month. We have an expert coming into the group to do a workshop. I have a meditation on your own page on my website. So you'll have your own meditation with each topic, a video, you'll have a full moon ritual, you have card readings, you'll have a group coaching call, you have a private Telegram group with me. There is so much in the membership, which is only £55 a month. That is staying that price till December, and then January I'm putting up to $77 because it's so valuable, and I'm making a lot of changes in my business lately, so I just know that what I deliver is so valuable, so I'm putting that up in January. So I'm going to honour the price up until December. I'm just going to make sure I've not got any comments. I can't get them up on my thing. Let's have a look. They're not coming up on here. And I think that's it. So I hope to see some of you on the course. If anyone's interested, please comment as soon as you can, because we're only giving 5 away. And then it's going to be at $197, and normally it's at $597, guys. So you can check all the information on the link. I hope you enjoyed my video. Thank you again, Tanya, for letting me come on. I've really enjoyed this. And any questions, please feel free to ask them. I can't wait to connect with some of you. And again, if you want to find me on Instagram and connect with me there, I give a lot of value, and I can't wait to connect with some of you. So have the rest of a beautiful day and enjoy your weekend, guys. Bye.